What the is that piece of Ever buy a record from one of your all-time favorite artists, and when you first hear it, you think, who is this and what have they done with my band? That was my reaction when I first heard songs from In Through the Outdoor, an album I later came to love and respect. We should have seen it coming. It was 1979, and for God's sake, Rod Stewart, the Rolling Stones, and even Kiss had all released disco songs. The 80s were coming, and Led Zeppelin were not going to be spared. In Through the Outdoor was released in August of 1979 and was the last studio album Led Zeppelin ever recorded. At first listen, it sounds so future-y. What with Jimmy's Gizmotron and Jonesy's new Yamaha GX1 synthesizer. Then there's all those attempts at different genres. But the more I listened, the more I realized this album is great. No, it doesn't sound like typical Zeppelin, but it's eminently listenable and just keeps getting better with each repeat play. It's also the only album that was guided chiefly by John Paul Jones. His masterly writing and arranging skills are on full display on this album. His arrangements span hard rock to blues to folk to honky-tonk to ballads to samba, and somehow they all fit together perfectly to create an album that feels utterly cohesive. Pretty impressive considering that the band had basically split into two pairs of collaborators by now. JPJ and Plant on the one hand working during the day, and Page and Bonham coming in to lay down their tracks at night. And there really are standout Zeppelin songs on here. All My Love is my favorite rock ballad of all time, Fool in the Rain was a radio juggernaut, and as a devout prog and new wave fan, how could I possibly not love Carousel Alhambra? I was also surprised to find out that the album was a huge commercial success. It went to #1 in its second week on the American charts, before also reaching #1 in the UK, Canada, and New Zealand. This record is all killer and no filler, and an amazing feat of a band expanding their sound, their genres, and their production. If you haven't listened to In Through the Outdoor recently, do yourself a favor. Find a quiet room, pop on some headphones, sit down, and listen to the album all the way through. You won't be sorry. Tell us in the comments of an album that you first thought was the demise of your favorite artist, only to realize that it was actually a bold gamble in a new direction that hits the jackpot. Thanks for watching Strange Device.